Good morning, sunshines, and welcome to my bedroom. How cute is this background, right? I was gonna do a room tour today, and then I wanted to record this first, so I figured I would take advantage of the fact that my room looks kind of tidy right now, which is not always the case, believe it or not. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are continuing with the series, Advice with a Hot Mess Express. So I'm going to give advice today from my experience. I'm gonna do the best I can. Again, I'm not qualified to give advice in any way, shape, or form, so you don't have to listen to me. Feel free to give your own opinions below. I love to hear them, and I just think this is a lot of fun. And I got a lot of good questions, so we're going to go through them. If you enjoy, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notifications if you'd like to be notified, even though a lot of people tell me that doesn't work for some reason, and give this video a thumbs up because it helps my channel. Did you see me? Did you see me put that plug in there? I was watching some other YouTube videos and they were doing it, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask them to subscribe, see what happens. I never do that. Welcome to my channel, the exit browser. These questions today are all gonna have to do with relationships, because clearly I am great at relationships. So I'm so glad you all came to me for this. But I do think I've learned things. I've definitely learned a lot of what not to do. I've learned a lot of what makes me happy, things like that. So this is gonna be fun. Question number 1. What do you think if a guy you're seeing isn't a big texter and doesn't express his feelings? It's been really hard because we've been seeing each other for a few months. But to find out what we're doing, I have to always text first. I'm at the point where I feel like he may not like me because there's zero effort from him at this point. I just want your advice, maybe to how to get through it or move on. I'm sorry if that's kind of confusing. I've definitely been in this situation before, and it's very frustrating. And I know exactly what you mean. And from my experience, what I always do, and I hate this, because if it's true, then this method is just a way to find out. But you just don't text them first and see what happens. And if they don't ever text you, then they're not thinking about you, and they're probably not that into you. Like, especially if it's already been a couple months already, I think it's not fair for it to be always one way, and you're just gonna continue to give that expectation to him. Like, he's always going to expect that because it's what you've always given him. So why would he reach out? You know what I mean? So sometimes you just have to kind of back off a bit and see. I will do that sometimes if I'm like maybe very casually dating a guy, but then I always tend to get in my own head. I'm doing my own thing, and I'll be like, I refuse to text him. And I am so stubborn. You don't even understand. You do not understand the levels of stubbornness that I am when I do shit like this. I am like, no, I won't talk to them. I won't text them. I won't call them. I won't look at their Instagram. Nothing. Then like 8 months will go by, and I'll be like, oh, remember that one guy I was kind of dating? And it's so sad, but true. I do think that's pretty much the only way you can really find out, because if a guy is interested in something, he will make an effort, at least a little bit. There will be somewhat of an effort there. So I would say just stop doing the text first. Don't ignore him, of course, you know what I mean, but I just wouldn't reach out and see how long it takes him to do it first. That would be my advice. That's what I do. But again, I have those occasions where it's 8 months later and I'm like, oh, they never texted me. Life, right? Dating's fun. Story time. I'm so stubborn and heartless when it comes to dating, especially in the beginning, because when I was in high school, I just got my heart broken so stupidly. I was seeing this guy who I wasn't that cute in high school. I don't know, I was cute, but I wasn't popular. I wasn't remarkable by any means. I was a nerd, you know, whatever. So when this one guy who was just so cool and so funny and so cool, I don't know, he started to just randomly become into me, and I was so excited about it that I just didn't know how to handle the situation. And so we like went on a date or two, got along great, everything was great, it was great. And then I just got so weird. I cringe so hard when I think about it, because his best friend liked my best friend, so I used that to always know where he was. And so if he was hanging out at so-and-so's house or doing such and such over here, I'd be like, hey, what are you guys doing? Yeah, me and, you know, Meg wanna hang out. And so I just show up there. I just kept showing up where this guy was. Now that I think about it, I'm like, what? And I realized after that I was being psychopath. I mean, not psycho, it wasn't like abnormal for me to show up in those situations, really. It wasn't like, I mean, I had the invite, but I just went out of my way too many times without him inviting me. It was just, and then afterwards he was like, yeah, I think we should just like chill and just be friends. I was like, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, that's what I thought too. That was my reaction. Yeah, I don't even like you. Went home, cried. And ever since then, I've always played hard to get with guys. And sometimes it does not work whatsoever. So, not always the method, unless you just enjoy failure, but you know, it works a lot too. Next question. Love your videos, and I had a topic in mind as I'm going through it. I'm not sure what to do. What are the red flags that you should get out of the relationship that you are in? I'm in a relationship now where the other person has changed their mind on when they want us to start a family. The first plan we decided on together was to start trying in a year's time from now, but now they don't want to, and it hurt me quite hard. And now I don't know if I can stay with them since we're at such different places in our lives. So my question is, what are the red flags you need to look for, and when should you leave? Okay, what stands out to me here is that the only thing that's deterring you? Because unless he's changed his mind and says he doesn't want kids at all now, or maybe he just wants to wait one more year, I think that's a reasonable request from him personally, in which case I think that possibly you could work, communicate on it, maybe see if you are both, you know, willing to do that, etc. But because my main issue with that is like, if children is your goal and you need to have them this year, then like if you break up with him, then you have to start all over with someone new, and then to get to the point where that new person you are ready to have kids is going to be several years down the line. So it might be worth it to wait with this guy. That's just me thinking in a timely manner, because I'm not personally over eager for children, so I'm trying to like relate from your standpoint. However, because you worded it that way, where you said we're at such different points in our lives, I'm thinking that maybe there's more to it than that. So I wouldn't say it's completely a red flag unless he's like, I don't want kids at all now, because that's a deal breaker, I would say. For me, I'm very open to having them or not having them. I think I could go either way. So for me, I'm pretty flexible there, you know what I mean? But if that's something that you both are just set on, then I think that's something that you just have to be like, okay, this cannot work because we both want completely different things, and that's like a life thing. That's not something you can really budge on, you know what I mean? And also, there's just so many, paces. Like if he's still out partying and, you know, being a little club rat or something, and he's just not ready to settle down, if it's kind of like that, then I would say that you're at two different places for sure, and that maybe it is, you know, healthier for you to move on and try to find someone that's more on your level. So if he only just wants to wait like another maybe year or two more and then he's ready, then I would say that's something that you could possibly work through. But you know, you just gotta read the situation. I think it's so incredibly hard when you're in a longer term relationship to break up, because you're very comfortable and they become your best friend and they become your like your security blanket, and you are just reliant on them for so many things emotionally and just like their presence and everything like that. And it's hard when you're in a relationship and you have that person. You're like, oh, if something goes wrong, you just know you have that person. You have a person to call, they're there right on the dot, like no matter what, that's your person. Like even above like a best friend or anything like that. Like I just always feel like your relationship is just gives you that security that someone will care about you, that you can't, you know, fall down a flight of your stairs at your apartment and never be found again, because you have at least that one person who's gonna pop in and be like, hey, you okay? I always think of it that way. Excuse me. Is it landing on top of my apartment? Like what? So I know that it's very difficult to break off a long-term relationship because of that comfort and stability. However, sometimes it's the healthy thing to do, and you just gotta rip off the band-aid and do it. I have no idea what that, I think a helicopter just landed in the vicinity or something. Okay, next relationship question. My question is, I have a higher sex drive than my husband. I'm 31, he's 40. We've been together for 12 years and it's always been the case. What do you do if you end up being turned down every time you try to have sex? I end up just waiting for when he's in the mood, and it's pretty much the only thing we ever fight about. At least it's good when it happens, but still so frustrating. Please help a woman out. This, I think, is super valid. Personally, I think sexual chemistry in a relationship is probably, you know, one of the most important things, or it's a very largely important thing to have in a relationship. And I think it keeps the relationship healthy and it keeps it going. And from my experience, like open communication is always the best thing to do in this scenario. I know exactly what you're talking about, because if you have had that conversation with him so many times, then he has this subconscious thing in the back of his head now, where it's like, I'm not good enough, like I don't do that enough, you know, and that is going to wear on him more than like trying to come on to you, you know what I mean? So it's hard, but I feel like you have to come at it very like non-aggressively, and you have to cater to their egos a little bit, which is like which is very frustrating to do, to be fair. But sometimes it's just like, it's just easier than just telling them how it is. You're just like, this is the problem and this is how you could fix it. But they don't understand that kind of communication. You know what I mean? You have to communicate stealthily. I just know that if you nag and pressure them about it, it is going to turn them off from it completely. If you nag and pressure them about anything, it's going to turn them off completely. I've just kind of learned that in my interactions with men. So I think that you have to be patient, kind of lessen up on the pressure. Maybe I think you could work towards trying things that you know he likes, maybe even if you don't like them, you know? So it's definitely a patient, frustrating process, but you have to change their thought process from this like pressure thing that you put on them. Because I know the feeling, because you feel like rejected because they don't. You're like, oh, am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Like, why don't you want me? Because if you want it more than they do, then it's just confusing. I hate Los Angeles. Why do so many people have helicopters here? But I think the biggest thing is probably just stepping back away from the situation, focusing on yourself. Like, don't not think about it ever, but just try to look and pay attention for like key moments when it might be a good time for them, and just kind of stir the pot slowly back up again. Because right now he's just probably on the defense because it's been like an argument and everything. So he's like, oh, well, now it's too much pressure and I can't do it. Also, I don't know if this is relevant or not because I haven't really had like that age range of a partner before, but I do think after 40 or so, men might lose their sex drive a little bit, or lose like a little bit of, they're just lower in testosterone, I believe. They don't produce as much at that point. So I think he can go to the doctor. I know that would be super awkward to present to him, but I mean, it's possible that they need to go to the doctor, and I think you can get like some kind of testosterone supplement or something, or Viagra, I don't know. I haven't personally myself been in that situation, so I can't really give advice on that exactly, but I mean, that was just kind of an afterthought because I read the ages on there. But regardless, I hope that answered your question well enough. Okay, that is the 3 questions. I got similar ones like those, but I think they all fit into those 3 categories. And I think they're all 3 completely different relationship categories. So I hope that was fun for you. It was fun for me. If you want more advice for the Hot Mess Express, and it doesn't have to be any category whatsoever, because I just kind of have been divvying them up into categories. Advice about anything in the world, except for fitness, because I feel like most of my videos kind of cover that already. And I can do Q&As for that kind of make more sense. But if you want more advice, you can email me. I'll pop my little email just for this. That's the only thing you can email that email for. Otherwise it won't be, I don't know, observed. Is that the right word? It's early, okay. Email's gonna be in the description box. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all for now. Bye.